Fake HOA cop aimed at my daughter didn't know she's a Navy SEAL combat instructor. Have you ever faced someone who thought they could bully their way to power, only to crash into a wall of unexpected strength? In a quiet suburban neighborhood, where manicured lawns and picket fences hid simmering tensions, a self-appointed HOA cop named Karen thought she could intimidate anyone into submission. She didn't know she was about to pick a fight with the wrong familiar fight that would unravel her reign of terror and leave her humiliated. It started on a sunny Saturday afternoon in Willow Creek, a gated community where Karen, the HOA president, patrolled like a sheriff in a bad western. Clad in a cheap security vest she'd ordered online, she strutted through the streets, clipboard in hand, barking orders at anyone who dared park a car slightly off-center or let a weed creep into their lawn. Her latest target? The new family on Maple Drive, the Harrisons, who'd moved in a month ago. Karen had heard rumors about their daughter, Lena Tough, no-nonsense woman who kept to herself. But Karen didn't care. She thrived on control, and the Harrisons' pristine but unapproved mailbox design was her latest excuse to flex her authority. Lena, a 32-year-old Navy SEAL combat instructor, was home on leave, helping her parents settle in. She'd faced insurgents in Fallujah and trained elite soldiers in hand-to-hand combat. But nothing prepared her for the absurdity of Karen's wrath. That afternoon, as Lena washed her dad's truck in the driveway, Karen stormed up, her voice shrill enough to shatter glass. "This vehicle is in violation of HOA Code 3.1.7. No washing cars in plain sight," she screeched, pointing a flashlight at Lena like it was a weapon. Lena, unfazed, kept scrubbing, her calm demeanor only fueling Karen's fury. "I'm calling security," Karen spat, pulling out her phone. The truth was, Karen's security was her cousin, Mitch, a wannabe cop who'd failed the academy twice. He showed up minutes later in a golf cart, wearing a knockoff badge and waving a taser he'd bought at a surplus store. "Step away from the vehicle, ma'am," Mitch barked, puffing out his chest. Lena raised an eyebrow, her hands still soapy. "You're not a cop," she said coolly, her voice carrying the weight of someone who'd stared down real threats. Mitch, oblivious, pointed the taser at her. "I'm HOA enforcement, and you're trespassing on private property," he declared, ignoring the fact that Lena was on her own lawn. The neighbors, drawn by the commotion, began gathering, phones out, filming the spectacle. Karen, emboldened by the audience, doubled down. "This family thinks they're above the rules. I'll have you fined, evicted, arrested," she yelled. Lena's father, Tom, a retired mechanic with a gentle smile, stepped onto the porch. "Karen, we checked the bylaws. There's no rule against washing cars," he said, holding up a printed copy of the HOA regulations. Karen's face turned crimson. "Don't you dare lecture me," she snapped, snatching the paper and tearing it in half. That's when the twist-cameo neighbor, Mrs. Patel, a quiet widow who'd lived in Willow Creek for decades, stepped forward. She'd been silently watching Karen's antics for years, collecting evidence of her overreach. "I've got something to say," Mrs. Patel announced, her voice steady. She held up a thick folder. "Karen's been extorting fines from half the neighborhood, forging documents, and pocketing the money. I've got receipts, emails, and bank records." The crowd gasped. Karen's empire was built on lies, and Mrs. Patel, the unassuming retiree, had been the one to uncover it. The confrontation escalated fast. Mitch, panicking at the crowd's murmurs, made his fatal mistake. He lunged at Lena, taser crackling. In a blur, Lena sidestepped, disarmed him with a single fluid motion, and pinned him to the ground, her knee on his back. "Stay down," she said, her tone calm but lethal. The crowd erupted in cheers, phones capturing every second. Karen, realizing her cousin was no match for Lena, screamed, "You can't do this. I'll sue." But Lena wasn't done. She stood, towering over Karen, and said, "I've trained soldiers to face worse than you. You're not scaring anyone here." Karen's downfall was swift and brutal. Mrs. Patel's folder revealed years of fraud fake fines, doctored HOA minutes, even a scheme to sell community land for personal profit. The neighbors, emboldened by Lena's defiance, turned on Karen. They filed a class-action lawsuit, and the local police, real ones this time, arrived to question her. Mitch, humiliated and taserless, confessed to posing as a security officer, a misdemeanor that landed him in hot water. Karen's reign collapsed as the HOA board voted her out unanimously, her clipboard and vest confiscated like relics of a failed dictator. In the aftermath, Willow Creek transformed. Lena, though only visiting, inspired the neighborhood to rewrite the HOA bylaws, ensuring transparency and fairness. Mrs. Patel became the new HOA president, her quiet strength a stark contrast to Karen's tyranny. Lena returned to her base, but not before teaching a self-defense class for the neighbors, leaving them empowered and united. Karen, meanwhile, faced mounting legal bills and a community that shunned her. She moved away, her dreams of control drowned in the wreckage of her own making. Lena's stand wasn't just about one fake cop or one overzealous HOA president. It was a reminder that strength isn't about yelling loudest or waving a badge, it's about standing firm, speaking truth, and protecting those who can't fight back. The neighbors of Willow Creek learned that lesson, and their community was stronger for it. What do you think? Did Karen deserve her comeuppance, or could she have been stopped sooner? Share your thoughts below.